Hello folks, today we are going to start taking care of mess like this. We're going to redo these battery cables. That ain't what that's not how it's supposed to work, I don't think.
Like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications.
Pulled out the main alternator feed. We had to strip a lot of this harness back because it did these on the 93. It doesn't have a fusible link or anything. It's got two 60 amp fuses in the outside power distribution, and it just feeds that with about an 8 gauge wire off the alternator. So basically you got a battery cable feeding the PDM, the module out here, the power module here, right up there. You got a battery cable hooks to the end with two lugs, and you got a straight 8 gauge wire coming off the bottom of your alternator. And we're fixing to put a fusible link in there with 4 gauge, appropriately sized fusible link for 4 gauge wire. We're going to feed our power module. We're going to charge our battery with it once we get everything put back together. But I'm going to tidy all this up. I'm going to do a little bit of taping. I've got some felt harness tape. I've got some wire loom. We're going to try to make this look as good as we can, but we got all that old crap out of there. I got couple of pieces left. You can see the whole thing looked like that. It's just old and dirty. Ain't nothing wrong. Nobody did anything wrong. It's just, you know, it's a 93 model. This is 2021. So we'll go from there. I'm going to do a little work. Okay, I'm trying to block some of this sunlight from you. I'm good at blocking sunlight. There's a lot of me. Okay, we've been working on this thing. One thing they don't show you in the, you know, people that sell these battery cable upgrades and this, we're making our own. It ain't no big deal. On a 93, I don't know what year models exactly, the ones that have these two studs, your battery power wire, your alternator, coming off your alternator is just a 8 gauge or whatever wire, 6 gauge wire. It's not fuse linked or anything like that. It splits into two in a factory splice inside of this harness. I've already stripped all this harness apart. Taking it out, I'll get you a picture of the actual wire and put in here. But anyway, it splits into two different wires. All right, one goes in this position, one goes in this position. There's two 60 amp maxi fuses that go in this power distribution. You got a tractor going by. And those 60 amp fuses are what fuse the alternator feed and your power feed. Well, we're going to replace that with we're using 4 gauge welding wire, and I'll show you the kit here in a little while. And we're using an appropriately sized, which is an 8 gauge fusible. We're going to put that fusible link in there. It'll feed directly to here. We'll show all that. But I'm going to save these. I dummied them off. I don't know if you can see it. This with some heat shrink. Smashed it closed with some adhesive heat shrink. There'll be a little small trailer being pulled with this when we're eventually done with it. And there'll be a DC to DC charger charging a battery on that trailer for lights and stuff like that. And instead of having to run an external fuse, I can just tap into this, I believe. I'll try it anyway when we're done. But also, I used felt tape. I've got some felt tape. That's this stuff here, made by a company called TESA, T-E-S-A. I think I bought it on Amazon or somewhere. I can look it up, try to get you a link to it. It offers a little protection. I mean, I'm not going to be underwater with this thing, I hope. If I am, I'm swimming. I'm fat, I'll float, I hope. But that and a little black tape. I've got different sizes, 2 or 3 different sizes of wire loom, different things. We're just trying to clean all this up while we're working on it. I mean, I don't know, you probably can't, I'm out here filming, but you know, you don't want just a bunch of wires hanging around when you can clean them up. We're going to put all this back. We're doing 2 or 3 things at once here. So, but if you can see it, that's one of the battery feeds off your alternator. Now that wire looks a lot thicker than it is. It's not really that thick when you cut it. But it did have a 60 amp fuse going on it. It had 2 60 amp fuses. I don't know what you'd have to do to this thing to make it pop those 2 60 amp fuses, but something else would probably be on fire before it did. So I'm putting a fuse link back in. Y'all do what you want to. Okay, this is the cables I ordered. It's a set from a company called Windy Nation. I've never actually heard of them, but I've seen other folks use them on videos. It says made in USA. It's got SAE J1127 welding and battery cable, number 4 gauge. Little kit comes with, the kit I bought comes with 15 foot of each, red and black. I'm gonna have way too much cable, and I'll probably have not enough cable, too little for the next project I do. So, but it also comes with 10, I don't know if you can see that, 4 gauge 3/8 terminal ends, and I ordered a pack of you can't read that one for sure, 5/16 4 gauge terminal ends. I've made a couple cables with it already. It comes with this heat shrink. This heat shrink will do if you have to. I ordered some more so I don't bump everything around. This looks comically large, but it's 3-to-1 adhesive lined, and so it shrinks. This stuff just keeps shrinking, and the more it shrinks, I don't know if you can see that, but it's thicker. As it shrinks, it gets thicker, and it's adhesive lined, so the adhesive is coming out. And this is a 8 gauge, I don't know if you can see it, fusible link. That's what 4 gauge, if you have an 8 gauge wire, a 4 gauge wire, you should have an 8 gauge fusible link. If that's the way you're going to go, it'll protect it. I got it from a company called Auto Electric Supply. I mean, they shipped it fast too. Comes in a little kit. I ordered 2 of them. I got another one here somewhere. I have to find it. Oh no, I've lost my mind. Anyway, comes with the wire, the fusible link. Already has one end crimped on it, and it comes with a ferrule crimped on one end that you can crimp to your 4 gauge wire. that's all of that. I also ordered a set of military style ends. I've already assembled my ground leads, and it comes with this plastic like rubber cover. Don't know if I'm going to actually use it or not. I was just putting things together. These are the two that actually go to the battery. One goes down to the engine block. The other goes to the weldment right beside the battery on the unibody there. And we got one more. This is the cable that will go from top of the head to the front of the body. Okay. I put wire loom on them. It may or may not help. I don't know. It may look bad. I may take it back off once we start putting them on the Jeep. Never know. Also, bought a hydraulic crimping tool, a YQK series. Tools for connecting lugs and cable. It carries Mang advantages of good design, easy operation, high pressure, high efficiency, etc. Made in China. The company is Ibosad, IBOSAD. Bought it on Amazon. Comes in this nice little package. Oop, bumped you, sorry. I like things that come stored like this. Okay. This set of pliers, it doesn't really stay in there good, but it comes with a set of cutters. They're perfectly serviceable. I mean, if you use them for a living, you'd want better. Comes with pretty decent instructions. Extra set of seals. And trying to figure out how to get this all in there. This is the crimper itself. Comes with several dies. I'm using the 6 gauge. Seems to work better with the particular furls, the crimps I have. They're all labeled. And this thing just works, and it does have a spring return. I've seen reviews on others that they don't have a spring return. You can use this one one-handed. You can just pump it right on up. I don't know if you can see that. See, there we go. And this will swivel some. I don't know if it's supposed to. But, you know, it does. It comes with all the way from 12 up to 2 gauge, looks like, or even bigger. What is this? 2/0. 2/0 die set of them. Put them in there. They just pop in there. I don't know if there's ball detent in there. I don't know if you can see that. They just pop in there. You're ready to go. Just line them up. They are a little bit loose. Okay. See about how far I want my copper in there. No, these aren't the tools that came with it. That's my old Nippics I've had. I'm not cutting. I'm just putting a little pressure on there. See? There you go. Fit right on there. Get it Crimper here. Be a little harder to do here. Get everything started, and then I'll push that wire on up in there. There we go. Give her a little more. There we go. There you go. Now we'll just see about how long we want it. Only need about that much, really. Snip her off. Double it up. Snip her off there too. Alright, my little heat gun. You can go to Harbor Freight and get them. Maybe loud, I don't know. Yeah, it's shrinking. So we'll just keep on going. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got the glue oozing out the end of it. Both ends. We're also means we're gluing it in the middle. I don't know if you've ever tried to. This thing's hot. I don't know if you've ever tried to cut any of this off after it's set. But it's there. I'll tell you right now. Okay. Now I'm gonna put a little loom on there. You don't have to. This may turn out being ugly. And me taking it back off eventually. Let's see, I want it up against there and up against here. Give it one more rung. Lift it off. Push it on like that. Take a little tape. Just to hold it there. This is not to seal it up. It's just to hold it on the ends. And put a couple in little spots in the middle, so that over time the wire won't work its way out of the loom, as it can, especially big wire. This ain't big wire by no means. But here, see? We got a cable that goes from our battery to our power distribution, however we want to route it. Now, on larger cables, you'll want to time these. That means you'll want to mark it and turn the little fitting a certain way. But this smaller, this little 4 gauge is so easy to move around. You ain't got to worry about that. On my 93, it had this funky looking fitting on the starter. The crank wire, you can tell, was in the awesome shape. So we cut that off, put a heat shrinkable connector on it, and now we're going to make the battery cable for it. Do away with this oil soaked, no connection having. You can see that it's coming apart, mess. This was our original power cable. Well, that's great. Now this was attached like that to our power distribution. We have to use this. This was at our starter end. Alright. This junk going in the scrap. Now this replaces it. This is our cable lug, military style. This short leg will be the leg that goes to the PDM. This will be bolted to the PDM. It'll go right there on it, like so. Other end will go to our starter. That's what they look like when you get done with them. And we've already got our ground cables that I showed earlier. Got our cables done, and I apologize, the wild animal crows are just having a good time this morning. We got our new cables installed. Kind of see how we hooked our two. We got one coming from our alternator. This has a fusible link You can see the heat shrink down in there. It's hard to see. Thing there. We have our ground. It goes to the back of the head like it's supposed to. We've got our little, sorry about it, I'm not a very good cameraman running this around. The ground comes here, and then our ground, this other ground goes down. It does crank faster. The power windows and locks do seem to be a little better. I don't know, it may just be me, but she charges like she's supposed to. The computer controls voltage on this one. Other than that, everything went as it should.